Hello viewers, and welcome back to another F1 2020 video. Today we're going to be taking the Haas around Austria. This is one of my favorite tracks. It's pretty fun to drive, nice and simple, nice flowing circuit. The Haas feels pretty much like all the other midfield cars. I can't give an accurate depiction because I haven't spent that much time on each individual midfield car to compare it to, all the others. But it feels more or less like the same kind of capability as all the others. Obviously, it's got that Ferrari engine, so it sounds really good. Like, I love the Ferrari sound in this new F1 game. It just sounds fantastic in comparison to a few of the other engines. This and the Renault is my favorite engine, obviously, because of the sound. If you haven't listened to the Renault already, go listen to it around Spain. I made a video on it earlier. And the downshifts just sound so cool when you're going into like a heavy braking zone. Now for this track, the fastest lap time I've actually set, this is a bit old, this footage, because I've set a faster lap time since in a Ferrari. So I can obviously go faster in the Mercedes when we're allowed to use it. But I used the Ferrari and I used default setup obviously in that TRL Limitless video, and I managed to set a 1 minute 3.4 in the Ferrari with the default setup. So that just goes to show how fast these new cars are. The curbing is a lot more satisfying to drive on this circuit. It's nowhere near as punishing. Turn 1 you can take in 5th gear or 4th gear depending on your position on the track, but I've taken this corner in 5th gear several times and it's worked out pretty good. So 4th gear, 5th gear, that's how high the gears are in a lot of the corners. This hairpin obviously is still 1st gear to try and rotate the car. It's just one of those really tight corners. It's a little bit easier on traction than the previous game coming out of that corner. You can actually touch the exit curb and it won't punish you that much if you do run a little bit wide through that corner. But if you do exceed the limit of grip, it is very easy to snap the car out and it will bite you. But it is a whole lot easier to read when you're about to snap the car out because of the force feedback provided. It's a huge improvement since F1 2019, at least for the controller. The vibration is a lot more, I don't know, it just gives you a lot more information. But it did take me a little while to get used to. I think I've put in about 40 hours into this game already. I know Tim at Marduk and a few other guys, they've put in about like 10 hours so far, so I've quadrupled the amount of time they've spent on this game so far. So it's not just because I'm on a controller or anything. The controller's not that overpowered or something like that. It's just because I've literally spent that much more time on the game than them so far. So as soon as they spend more time, or just as much time on the game as me, they'll be just as quick or quicker. So I did spend a lot of time setting lap times to try and find a good setup so that way I can report to you guys what I think about the new meta, or like the setups that are quick in the game. And it's been difficult to get a gauge really on where the pace is. So far I've been finding that running higher downforce at tracks like even the Netherlands and Monza, I think it was 3 4-wings I was using there, which is like, in comparison, I was using 1 4-wings in 2019 for Monza for stability. I got away with 3 4-wings there. So obviously I think running a higher downforce overall in comparison is a bit quicker because you got that stability. You can attack curbs, you got that stability, you don't have to run a super high rear wing anymore. So it's a whole lot more advantageous, I think, to run a higher downforce setting, at least with the front wing, in comparison to last year. As you can see, there is some graphical improvements to the halo. You can actually see the reflection of the car, or whatever's behind the halo on the black paint. So you can see all these little reflections. I know I got a few requests to actually showcase the Haas, so that's why I'm doing the Haas around this track. I haven't driven, I think, this track in a video yet, so this is like the first combination of this gameplay that I could, come up with. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Yeah, the Austrian track, it's even easier to drive than last year because of the cars. The cars just got way more grip now. And yeah, it's just a lot more satisfying to drive every track so far. Make sure you stay tuned into the channel because whenever I'm allowed to, I will give you Grand Prix gameplay or race gameplay whenever that becomes available to me. So stay tuned for that. I'll be trying to do Vietnam as soon as I'm allowed to.
And yeah, I know a whole bunch of people are requesting Vietnam, but it's not available to YouTubers at the moment. So we're just gonna have to sit tight until Codemasters decide to release information or showcase Vietnam, and something to do with the Mercedes. We're not allowed to use the Mercedes either yet. So I'm really curious to see what Codemasters come out with in that aspect, because it might have something to do with DAS. That's just you know, speculation, rumors. That's what me and a few others are thinking at the moment. So it'd be curious to see if they have that sort of, you know, change in the game. I'm not sure how they would implement it, or it might be just to do with implementing the car model itself, of having the actual Mercedes car. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what they're gonna do, or it could be that they're gonna showcase the Mercedes at Vietnam. That could be what the video is gonna be, so that way they can be the first to showcase it. But who knows? We'll have to stay tuned and see what Codemasters do about that. I'm excited though. I want to show you Grand Prix gameplay as soon as I can, and I want to try and dive into as many other details as I can as soon as I'm allowed to, and as soon as it's possible. So make sure you subscribe for that reason. That way you get notified, and you'll be the first one to find out all this new information coming out about F1 2020. One more thing I wanted to talk about is that because Italy has been reprofiled, Spain's been reprofiled, and obviously we got new tracks like Netherlands. Netherlands was actually laser scanned, if you didn't know. It was used it used the LiDAR technology. So that's how Codemasters got an accurate depiction of what the track looks like. Although the banking was new, so I don't think that was 100%. Like it depends on the information they got, but it could be that it's not as accurate in the banked areas because it's a brand new development. But I think they did a pretty good job with the circuit anyway. But anyway, as I was getting to my point, is that these new tracks that we haven't been able to race yet, I'm thinking that they've probably reprofiled all the circuits that are returning from 2019. Obviously, we're excluding Germany. So yeah, I'm just curious to see if they've reprofiled almost every track. Like Spa, I think, is one that a lot of people complain about that isn't so realistic to real life because it's not laser scan, obviously. So if they've done a good job with those sort of tracks and fixed up with the Formula 1 driver feedback that they've been receiving, and working with drivers like Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc, if they've been communicating with those guys, whether or not they've got laser scan technology on the new the tracks that haven't been released yet on this game, it'll be interesting to see if it is an improvement, if it's closer to real life. Add tracks like Spa, you know, Russia, all those tracks that haven't been shown yet on this game by a YouTuber and haven't been released yet. So I'm really curious to see all the new changes. Hopefully it's more satisfying to drive. That's all you can really ask for, and that'd be an awesome addition if they could have you know, reprofiled almost every circuit in a good way. So obviously the curbs are more fun to take through every circuit so far, with just the way the car interacts with the curb, not about reprofiling each individual curb in the game. It's just about the behavior of the car riding the curbs now. So that's a huge improvement. And yeah, once again, I'll leave you guys with some raw footage. That way you can enjoy the game's audio, enjoy that Ferrari engine, and I'll see you on a brand new video very shortly. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe on the video if you want to help the channel out, and I'll see you all on a brand new one.